We're very excited now to have the two co-founders of Rocketbook. We've got Joe Lemay and Jake Epstein joining us here live on the show. Hello, Joe and Jake.
Hey, great to be here. Great to be on Digital Trends. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks for hopping on. You know, I have to ask this right off the bat. We've been talking a lot about Mars lately here on the show. I got to ask, are you, in fact, on the Starship with Elon Musk right now?
Whoa, clearly. Whoa. We pressed the graphic button.
The graphics are incredible that you have going on right now.
Yeah, they are.
Very high tech here in Boston.
Well, Joe, Jake, okay, let's talk about the company. Let's talk about Rocketbook. I know you have a pretty interesting story for how it was founded. Then we'll kind of go into what Rocketbook is. But let's talk about that founding story.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Joe. I'm a co-founder here, and back in the day when I was an engineer and a technology salesperson as well, I was a notebook guy and a whiteboard guy. I was in meetings taking notes until one day I went into an important sales meeting, grabbed out my notebook where I had a bunch of prep notes for. I was going to have a fantastic meeting, and wouldn't you know, I grabbed the wrong notebook. And so since then, I tried all the different tablet solutions, electronic pens, scanning apps, and nothing felt quite right to me. So I had the idea for what is really something that's still a paper notebook in its essence, totally unplugged, but works with our app and our proprietary page to do cool and helpful things with your notes. So you scan in your notes, and boom, it goes automatically, where you want it. That was the initial idea of the product. When I was working on it, I was trying to think who could help me with this, and I was having a couple beers at the Sligo pub in Somerville.
The truth is, Joe pitched this to me at a complete dive bar over in Somerville, and it's a great story because he started getting going, and I immediately got excited, not just because I'm a notebook guy, but I was thinking that from a commercialization standpoint, we're so busy building technology into bikes and sneakers and toasters, and meanwhile the notebook was just sitting there collecting dust. In fact, the cool notebooks are made to look like they're from the 19th century. And so we just got on this roll at the Sligo, and within a couple months, we had our first Indiegogo live for the Rocketbook Wave.
I mean, we woke up the next morning, shook off our hangover, and got to work. And then we launched it originally on Indiegogo as a crowdfunding campaign where we had some working prototypes. Things were kind of working-ish, right? Enough to put a video together, and we press go on that, and you get a little notification every time you get a backer, and it was cool. We'd hear a little ding every once in a while. But on the third day, we got in that Indiegogo newsletter, and Jake and I were staying at an Airbnb in San Francisco at the time after launch, and
I thought the app broke.
Yeah, it was just going bing, 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 and we did, on our third day after launch, we did 100K. In one day, and we then realized, hey, maybe we have an idea here. We actually better get to work and finalize this product.
Yep.
That is really, it's impressive on a number of levels. I can only imagine how satisfying that is, hearing the ding when you put so much time into it. But also just that it survived the a few drinks in at a bar, because I've heard a lot of ideas pitched at bars, and for it to make it actually this far, I mean, obviously you had something that was legitimate past that. So congrats on surviving that side already. You got this going. You start getting the backing. Where do you go from there? And then I want to get into the actual product itself. But you get the backing, and then you said, now we actually have to come up with something. So what's that next step that you had to take?
Yeah, well, our original product, our first product, was a notebook that had these digital capabilities that worked with the app, but you could reuse it by putting the notebook in a microwave, and it would all erase, right? So
Rocketbook Wave right here.
Right, everything is microwave safe, it's engineered, etc. But to get this thing to work properly in one microwave was pretty trivial, but in all of these microwaves around the world was more complicated. So we were a little late going through testing and getting things out to backers who had pre-purchased it, but we finally got it out. And then Shark Tank gave us a call after they saw our big multi-million crowdfunding campaign. We just got things out to backers, and then we got on Amazon, and we filmed for Shark Tank in September of 2015. 2016.
2 years ago. Yeah.
So you want,
and it's just been a rocket ship, since then.
I love the analogy right there. That was perfectly timed. No, I think that's great. And you got on Shark Tank, and like you said, I mean, what was that experience like walking in there with that? I mean, how intimidating is it walking into that set?
It's intimidating, and we were early on. We had just gotten onto true e-commerce. Before that, it was like a $2 million crowdfunding campaign when we got on there, and we were still like working on shipping our first product. So it was intimidating, and we got laughed off when we were on set. And then what happened was the holiday season of 2016 and into the first Shark Tank aired is when the company really blossomed, and we became the #1 selling notebook on Amazon.
We developed our next product, which is the Everlast, and we took that. We really just even before our episode aired, grown explosively in that it was like basically a school year had gone between when we filmed and when we aired, September to May, and boom. I mean, we did about $10 million in revenue. Wow. We launched our next product, and it's just been, since then we've launched, in total almost, we've shipped about 2 million books total so far. And it's just growing and growing, and so is our team.
That is so impressive. Well, let's talk about Everlast. Let's talk about this new product that you have. Yeah. Why don't you walk us through what it is that we're looking at and what you get with this?
Yeah, so this is now the #1 selling notebook on Amazon, where you can get it, or you can get it on Rocketbook.com. It really is a paper and pen experience. It comes with a Pilot friction pen, and these are like $1 to replace. They're just like any pen. You can get them everywhere. It really is a ballpoint writing experience. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but it doesn't wipe off, but just a little bit of moisture, whether it's a paper towel or the microfiber cloth we give you, it just comes off perfectly. And so you can reuse it endlessly. And of course, before you wipe away your notes, you'll want to use the Rocketbook app to scan your notes. And when you do, based on where you've marked and pre-configured your page to go, boom, that'll go right to, let's say, my math folder in Google Docs without me having to press all these buttons to get it there. And it'll transcribe my notes if I even write fairly neatly and send them to me over email if I like.
A cool feature we recently added is the smart title. So we'll even transcribe the title of your document if you put a couple hashtags at the top of your page.
Yep.
That is actually something I would absolutely use. I love the idea, #1, that it's not a really, really expensive pen that you have to get to work with this. You said, the pens are like $1, so that's great because I lose those all the time. But also just the idea, of writing in your normal handwriting and have that transcribed and sent directly to where you go. That's a really, really great feature.
It's a paper and pen unplugged notebook when you're using it, right? But it has all of this high feature, high technology functionality. So
what's next for Rocketbook? Now that you have this out, it's obviously hugely successful. Do you have ideas for going forward?
Funny that you ask.
We have a ton of ideas. Our users are always submitting ideas to us, and we're working on our next one here, which is called Rocket Board.
Okay.
So you want to have a go with that?
Sure. Rocket Board is just 4 stickers you can attach to the. Why don't we just bring the whiteboard?
Yeah, bring it right on over.
I do. There had to be something involved here.
This is Rocket Board. We're launching a Kickstarter on Monday. Rocket Board is 4 magical beacons that you can stick to the corner of any whiteboard, and it basically turns the whiteboard into a Rocketbook page. So you can scan it with the Rocketbook app and instantly blast it to like a Slack channel or a Google Drive. And we even have a live mode where you can share it in real time with other people, like on a.
So I could just say to you, hey, go to rocketboard.com/1294, and boom, you're watching the current version of my whiteboard. So we're really excited about this. This really came from our users requesting that we have Rocketbook functionality built for whiteboards, and we think we've really nailed it.
That is fantastic. So when does this come out?
Kickstarter launches on Monday, and so if you're interested, sign up on our website and on our newsletter.
Well, Joe, Jake, thank you so much for hopping on here. That is, it's fascinating. You guys are obviously going to need to get back to the bar and have a few more drinks to think about your next product because it's worked for you so far. And this is really fascinating to have you on here. So you said Rocketbook, on Amazon. Where else can everybody pick up the Everlast book?
In plenty of Staples, Walmart, and Target stores. Not all, but plenty of them. Amazon.com is probably your best bet if you're an Amazon shopper, or our website, getrocketbook.com. We're having a sale.
Yeah. Cyber Monday extended, 25% off through midnight tonight.
Nice. Perfect timing then. All right, well, guys, thank you so much for hopping on the show today. That is fantastic, and best of luck with everything else that you got going on.
Thanks, Greg.